Hello there, Devil fans. This is Chris from the Uncle Pucker, New Jersey Devil podcast with you to do a quick little preview of the Devils' next game, the upcoming game out in Vancouver against the Canucks, where all three Hughes boys will be taking the ice for the first time this season. Devils are coming off a great victory over a really bad Anaheim team, 6-2 win at home Monday night. Just the exact game they needed to play. And they played it. There's no hiccups, no upsets, just exactly what should have been done. You beat the teams you should beat, and that's what they did on Monday night. We are dropping a podcast tonight. The Uncle Puckers will have it out. Went into that game in depth and a look ahead at the Western Canadian road trip. But we're going to just focus on the Vancouver game today. Devils in Vancouver, 10:30 Eastern time start at the Rogers Arena in Vancouver. So how's Vancouver so far this year? They're all right. They're 4-1-3 with 11 points. Their cup odds going into this season was plus 2,200, and their over under was 99.5 points. Last season, the Canucks surprised everybody with a super season at 50, 23, and 9 for 109 points, and that was good for first place in the Pacific Division. So Vegas thinks they are about losing about 5 to 6 games more this year, about a 10-point swing downward. Last year, they were 7th in goals for with 279. They were 5th in goals against with 223. This year, the Canucks power play is clicking at 20%. Their penalty kill is at 84.62%, so around 85%. The team's save percentage for their goalies is .895, and their winning percentage right now is at 688. This is a good hockey team. They're well coached by Rick Tocchet. They have a very good blue line, and they have some studs that can score. And this is not going to be a easy game for the Devils, but it's going to be a very good test. So they lost their first 3 games, Vancouver did this year. 2 of them were in overtime. And then they won the next 4, and then they just dropped their last game. It was a 4-3 overtime loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. So that's what they're going into this game after an overtime loss. Devils are going into this game after a 6-2 victory. Last year, Vancouver, like we said, they surprised everybody. They were first in the Pacific Division. They went on in the playoffs to beat the Nashville Predators in the first round in 6 games, and they lost to the eventual Western Conference champ Edmonton Oilers in 7 in the second round last year. So they gave Edmonton all they could handle. Last year, we played them twice. December 5th, our building, I think. No, actually, I think this was in their building. Devils won 6-5. I think that was the game, if I remember correctly. Jesper Bratt scored the go-ahead goal with like no time left. And then January 6th, just slightly over a month later, we lost to them 6-4. So we split. So what do we have to worry about when it comes to Vancouver? We don't have to worry about Thatcher Demko because he's still on IR. So let's talk about their goalies, okay? They have Kevin Lankinen. He's 4-0-2. His save percent is a 920. His goals against is 2.29. So I would think that Lankinen will be who the Devils are facing tomorrow night. I would bet Markstrom versus Lankinen. They also have Archer Silos, who played very well for them last year, coming in as the third goaltender after the injuries to Demko, and I don't even remember who their backup was at the time, but they got injured. And Silos came in and took them to the 7th game of the second round. This year, though, he's 0-1-1. He's got a .827 save percentage and a 4.5 goals against average. So he's struggling a little bit this year. He's yet to find his win, but they have some snipers on this team. They have Brett Besser. He's got 5-4 for 9 points. JT Miller's got 4-5 for 9 points. We've got Quinn Hughes, who's got 2-6 for 8 points. They're very deep. Like I said, very well coached team. New Jersey is going to have to play a very good game to beat these guys. And I think they can. But the one thing that really makes me nervous about this Devils team is the lack of consistency that we've seen this year. Was a problem last year to a much higher degree, yes. But this year, 12 games in, I want to see some consistency. You played great in the game against the Ducks. You came back to steal a point from the Islanders in a game that you were down late in the third. So that's some good stuff. They built off that. They beat the Ducks. Now you're going out here. They have days off in between these games, which I think is important. This team has played a lot of hockey in a short period of time. So I think the couple of days rest is going to help them, not just to get a practice in and everything else, but for these guys to be together away from Jersey, out on this West Coast trip. We hear it, right? The teams bond. This is where teams can really come together and galvanize and push forward. I don't know if I am sure of what the Devils are just yet, but I think this road trip can maybe set us up to what we're going to see down the road. So Markstrom, we've talked about it tons, and you can listen to the whole show, the whole podcast that we did, Bob and I, just recently. Markstrom, Allen, these guys have to play better, and I think they will. They're too good. They've been around for too long. Everybody goes through slumps. Markstrom has not played great. Came up with some big saves when we needed him to keep that game against Anaheim without it never going into question. So that was good. At least he just shut it down. But he's got to play better. I want to see Jacob Markstrom play every game on this road trip. I want to see him. There's 2 days in between. You have Vancouver Wednesday. You have I think Calgary on Saturday, and then I think Edmonton on Monday. Those are 3 games that if the Devils play their best hockey, or at least how they should play. Okay, let's just put it that. What we've seen glimpses of this year, they play that way. They can win all 3. They can win all 3 of these. They can come home with 6 possible points and grab all of them. Let's go at least 4 or 5 points come home with. I really love what I've seen out of Brett Pesce in the 2 games. That line, him and Hughes together, I think are only going to get better. There's really nothing much that I can say that to shit on anybody else on this team. If you look at like our third line, do the Devils have the best third line in the NHL? I think it's arguable. Yeah, they do. Our fourth line with McDermott's been on it lately. The last couple of games, he's brought him a lot of energy. It sucks that Lazar's out. It looks like it's going to be at least a significant amount of time. Hopefully, it's not too long. But again, this should be a really fun game. These are teams that I think match up very well against each other. I think it should be an up and down game. It should be a lot of fun. I expect some goals. I'm not going to predict a Devil win or anything like that because I want to wait until the next 2 games at least, or even 3. Like when they come back from this West Coast trip, I think we'll have a really, like I said, a really good idea of what kind of team are the Devils. But it's got to start now. We got to string together some solid performances and some dubs. You can't do this 1 on, 2 losses, 3 wins, 2 losses. No, string some shit together. 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, maybe better. The team's capable of doing it. I like what I saw against Anaheim. It was the exact thing they needed to do heading into this road trip. So consistency. That's really the main thing. Hopefully they come out of this thing feeling good about themselves. They get home healthy. They are going to face an Edmonton team on Monday. We're going to talk about that. It might be without Connor McDavid. I kind of hope not because I don't think Edmonton's really that good without Connor McDavid. So if we're going to beat them, I want to beat them with Connor McDavid. I want to beat the Western Conference champs when they are fully loaded. But I don't have a say in that. So if he's not there, take the 2 points anyway. These are 3 tough games against 3 teams that are playing really good. Don't look too far ahead like I just did. Stick with the Canucks. Devils can win this thing. But they just have to avoid these catastrophic debacles we've seen a few times this year. And the latest one being the Tampa Bay Lightning one. Forget that game. They lost 2 after that, but they played a lot better, and then they kind of put together the full effort against the Ducks. So you got a little bit better each game, put it together, got the big win on Monday. go and get the big win against Vancouver on Wednesday. That's about it. 10:30. So if you're going to be staying up for this one, I hope you don't have to get up early for work on Thursday. I'll probably catch maybe the first period before I zonk out, but we'll get all the highlights. And then the Uncle Puckers will be back in a couple of days. We'll go over this game, look ahead to the other games, and whatever else is going on in the NHL. Wherever you're listening to us, a like, a 5-star review, positive comment, subscription, download on the YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. And last thing before I bounce, if anybody is interested in one of these super awesome, cool, rad, aren't you jealous you don't have one Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil podcast sticker? If you want one, just go to theunclepuckers.com, click on contact info, put it in. I'll send them out to you free of charge. And you can slap them on your car, your computer, your water bottle, whatever you want to do. They're yours. So thanks for checking out this little preview video. We will be back soon, and we'll talk to you then. Go Devils.